6 flightings of this commercial for free. The ANC got several hundred flightings. And this is called fair and free and equal elections.
Did you know that the South African Reserve Bank is a private company controlled from Switzerland? And that our banks create money out of thin air? Our government knows this, but they're not telling us. This is Michael Tellinger, founder of the Ubuntu Party. And I'd like to remind you that South Africa belongs to its people. It does not belong to the government or any other private corporation. The government should always be the servant of the people to deliver on the needs of the people and not enslave its people. But they've sold our roads and our minerals to private foreign companies and enslaved us in debt for life. The Ubuntu Party will create a people's bank that creates money for the people, by the people, tax-free and interest-free, to free us from economic slavery, creating huge public works in the process and 100% employment. Let us return the country to its people. Vote Ubuntu Party for a people's bank. Money for the people, by the people. Vote Ubuntu.
I don't know what's gone wrong with the sound there. It didn't sound like this on TV. I think we got a ghost in the machine here. And then we went into the elections. I'm not going to play you this. This is just I'll just play a little bit of this, but it's just really showing the. Just some of the work we did on the road with the people and the townships, spreading the Ubuntu message.
Everyone is talking about this beautiful African life philosophy called Ubuntu, but very few people are actually doing anything about it. This is Michael Tellinger, and I want to tell you how the Ubuntu Party will actually make this beautiful life philosophy possible for every single South African. So I would like to remind you that we, the people, appoint the government to act as our servants, to do the best for the people all the time. But our government has failed us dramatically on every level and actually turned the people into the servant of the government. And above all, our economy has been hijacked by international banksters who have been granted complete freedom to financially cripple every South African, plunging us into a life of debt. Pay attention to this. The South African Reserve Bank does not belong to the government. It does not belong to the people. It's a private company that has been given the right to issue the money for the South African people and to dictate the financial policy to the government and in turn to the people of the country. And under the protection of the South African Reserve Bank, all our banks are being given complete freedom to create money out of thin air that they then lend to unsuspecting people at compounded interest, turning all of us into debt slaves for the rest of our lives. So based on these facts, the Ubuntu Party proposes to do the following: to restructure the entire banking system to serve the people and not to enslave the people, to establish a people's bank instead of the South African Reserve Bank that creates money for the people, by the people, and in this case the money will be tax-free and interest-free with 100% employment as a result, and stop the financial enslavement. We need to support our scientists and inventors to deliver a renewable source of free or almost free energy for every South African. We need to support our traditional healers and the research scientists to go back to basics and find alternative cures for all disease to prevent the drug cartels from hiding such cures from the people, because we know that cures for diseases have been found and can be released to the people. We need to support our farmers at every level to grow organic food and move away from genetically modified organisms and get rid of giants like Monsanto who are poisoning our farms and poisoning our lands and poisoning our foods. We need to plant food gardens across the nation so that no South African ever goes hungry again. We need to decentralize the government so that people can govern themselves in their own communities, taking care of their own needs immediately, supported by the People's Bank. Because once we have a People's Bank, all the needs of the people, wherever they may live, will be provided for. And therefore, there will be no worry about job security, because jobs will be created for whatever needs to be done, supported by the People's Bank. And finally, we need to restructure the judiciary and the legal system completely, to be written by the people, for the people, unlike the unjust legal system we face in our courts today, which holds the rights of corporations above the rights of living, breathing human beings. United we stand. That's what Ubuntu is all about.
For those that think that this is a pipe dream, I need to tell you that this has been done many times in the past with great success. And this is exactly what we want to recreate in South Africa, to bring this relief to the people.
that's so desperately needed. Viva Unity, Viva Abundance for All, Viva Ubuntu. Hope to see you on the 7th of May.
Anyway, the sound is a lot better there. Thank you very much. It was a really interesting journey. What happened, we knew that we were probably going to not get in because of the control. But what we did do, we did inject the virus of consciousness into the political beast. And this is what the political platform is all about. We're not a political movement, we're a movement of consciousness. And we use the political platform to use the consciousness to inject into the political arena. And what's important here is that while we were in the elections, every single political party came to our table and took a copy of my book. Even the ANC. So every political party in South Africa now has a copy of Ubuntu Contributionism, and they've read it. And they can no longer escape it, because now they've seen it and they've read it. And they know exactly what the plan is. And there'll be many people in those parties that'll resonate with that information. We now have more than members in more than 200 countries of the world. The Ubuntu party is being formed in about 12 countries around the world, I believe in Australia here as well. The Ubuntu Facebook pages that were created by Amy, and I believe it's Amy in Sydney. And for those of you that want to join the Ubuntu Facebook pages, I'm sure you can just Google it and find it. But it's the Australian Facebook group. And what we're doing now is just really walking the talk and turning our small town of Waterval-Boven into an Ubuntu and a contributionist community. Starting with various community projects and fixing the completely vandalized and destroyed community facilities that belong to the people, that have been completely vandalized and destroyed by the municipality. There's a community center. If you could see what it looked like when we took it over, it's unbelievable. It's a beautiful hall from apartheid days. It's a 5-star facility that was completely destroyed, vandalized, toilets ripped out, everything has been taken out of it. We had to put security gates on it to secure it, and now start turning it into a community venture where the money from it will be used to create a community kitchen that will feed the homeless, the orphans, the young mothers with HIV children, people that just don't have jobs and cannot afford money. Once we start feeding the people with these projects and the income from this, you get the people on your side. People are filled with fear, they're filled with distrust and mistrust. They just don't believe you anymore. We need to regain the trust of the people. Once we create the community kitchens, I believe we will regain the trust of the people, and once you've got that, they will follow you wherever you take them, and hopefully we'll take them back to paradise. These are just some of the things we're doing. The health clinic, this is what the health clinic looks like. It used to be a health clinic, that's what it looks like today. Destroyed by our current municipality. Sporting fields, beautiful cricket fields, rugby fields, netball fields, tennis fields, been reduced to dump sites. It's spectacular. So these are the community projects we've started already. So far, we've been funding it with our own money that we get from whatever we manage to raise, but we're going to be starting fundraising campaigns for these various projects, because I can't afford to fund this anymore myself. I mean, this is what's left. On the left is the rugby field, on the right is the old cricket field. This is just what we're dealing with. 10 years ago, they were still beautiful. This is what the ANC government and the new municipalities that are filled with ANC, basically fascist new dictatorship that's taken over from an apartheid dictatorship. It's just gone from bad to worse. And this is what they're doing to our beautiful country. The fish farm, beautiful fish farm that is now in the hands of the municipality, completely vandalized. This fish farm can breed 1 million fish a month. It can feed everyone in our town. This is one of the community projects. The recycling of the rubbish dump, this is one of the key things. The rubbish dump is on the mountain. It's polluting our beautiful mountain. It's filled with beautiful fresh water streams, and yet we can't drink the water that comes out the taps. Okay, so the recycling is very key, because the money from the recycling will again go into buying food for the food kitchen, for the community kitchen. So these are some of the, but again, you can't just come and have free food, you need to go and work in one of the community projects to come and get free food. Go work for 2 hours in one of the community projects and you can come and have a meal. So we're introducing the contributionism philosophy from the word go. So we don't create a culture of dependency, but really understanding that working together will create abundance. The bakery is a beautiful example. The reason the bakery is standing still because the electricity bill was too high. The lady that ran it for the community couldn't afford to pay the electricity, so she had to close it down. So this is why the introduction of alternative source of electricity is so critical to what we're doing here. The food growing gardens have been completely vandalized. I mean, this was an attraction where people used to come off the highway to buy strawberries, completely vandalized and destroyed. So, state of the art, food producing and food growing and strawberry growing. So I'm going to leave you here by saying, I hope that you've got an interesting sense of how we've come for thousands of years, from ancient times, you know, looking at wild and mysterious information and what's been going on this planet for so long, but we're the people we've been waiting for. We're the guys that have to make the change. We're now filled with this knowledge and information, and what we do with this, it matters. From the moment we leave this place, what you do with this information is up to you. So I'm going to ask you to stop being afraid of what you know and tell everyone what you know. Share this information. Become a seed of consciousness in your own area, in your own community, so that others will learn from you. Do not be afraid, because once you've told them, once they've heard it, they can never unhear it. And this is the critical thing. Go out there and speak from your heart. Resonate this information from your heart, because now you know that it's this resonance that binds us all together. And do not be afraid. It's the fear-mongering that keeps us separated. It's the fear that keeps us divided and keeps us running for cover and thinking, well, maybe I'll just hide for a little bit longer. No, we can't do that anymore. The time for hiding and being afraid is over. We've got to take control of our own planet, people. So go out there and tell everybody, be a seed of consciousness and carry the spirit of Ubuntu and contributionism in your heart, because it is the true laws of nature and the laws of the universe by which everything functions in the prime resonance frequency. And thank you for coming out in such large numbers listening. Thank you.